I'm so excited to have you back on. Connor was such a pain in the ass last time.
I am really excited to be back on.
I have an interesting episode for us today.
Uh-oh.
So, and this is a hot take of mine, but the theme for the day is Skeptics Gone Believers.
Ooh. I like that
Yes, and I feel like I might get some heat for this because it's a controversial opinion. However, I'm going to say it anyways. In my opinion, if you experience stuff that's paranormal, unexplainable, whatever, like if I'm in a room and I see a big heavy chair move by itself,
Yeah.
and I'm simply still denying that the paranormal is not real,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
You're just naive.
I don't even know if naive is the right word. I think you're just believing it because you simply don't want to, not because you don't actually believe in it.
Yeah, I feel like some people just refuse to change their mind about things.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, whatever. I'm like, no, you don't think that was a ghost? No, it couldn't have been. So what was it? Explain it to me. And they can't explain it. Like, no, I think it's, in my opinion, I think you're just willfully not believing it simply because you can.
Purposely being ignorant.
Yeah. Purposeful ignorance, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my hot take.
Okay.
So it kind of frustrates me.
I'm
like, duh!
I could get political, but I'm not going to.
No. But like, I'm just thinking, like, some people don't want to believe in it because it freaks them out and they don't want to think about it. Fine. Not talking about you. I get it. Some people are just so unsettled by it. They don't even want to talk about it. They're just like, oh, that happened and I'm moving on. We're going to forget about it.
Yeah.
Fine. I get
They're
it.
just in denial.
Yeah, I get it. It's better to not acknowledge things sometimes.
Yeah, and
But
some people who are like, I've never experienced anything paranormal, so I have reason to believe it.
Or like I saw something a few days ago. It's like I don't believe in it because there's no proof. There's no proof. I'm like,
that's very one-sided.
but I don't know how you can even say that.
There's so much proof, and like, yeah, I know word isn't proof, but there's a lot of
But there is a lot of physical evidence and unexplainable things.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not proof. I'm like, well, you're never gonna have this huge proof of like whatever.
There's a reason why it's called paranormal, because it's not normal and it can't be explained. That's the point of paranormal stuff.
Yeah, no, you're never gonna fully understand it. So like I get being like a skeptic sometimes. Some things are over exaggerated or they can be explained, which is fine. Some stuff is very explainable.
Right.
But I've had so many things where it's like, no, I know what I saw and heard. Like, no, I know it.
Right. And I think just some people, when they don't want to believe it, guess I don't know where I'm going with this. I kind of lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
But yeah, some people just they'll see signs of the like paranormal stuff and they will like ignore it. But not like everything is explainable. A lot of stuff in life is not unexplainable. Just stories that we hear that are claimed to be true. Like there's lots of documentaries out there about like aliens and stuff. There's not like ever going to be hard evidence of everything. And you don't have to have hard evidence of something for it to be true.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta like, you know what, we're rolling with it.
Yeah. And even in science, like the Big Bang Theory, or like any theory really in science, you kind of just believe it because it's the most logical thing. And sometimes paranormal stuff like ghosts are just the most logical thing. It just happens to be the right answer.
It's like a math problem. Sometimes you guess and you're right.
Yeah.
Unless you're me, then maybe not. But the good news is there are skeptics that have been like, you know what? Now I believe it because they had this crazy experience, which is super cool to be like, what did they have to go through to be like, oh yeah, now I'm about this?
Yeah, I'm really interested in hearing these stories.
They're good. They're good. So, first story. I thought that I struck and killed a girl that wasn't there.
Ooh.
I was driving home late at night from a double shift, so admittedly, I was tired. I had my radio blaring to keep awake as I was driving through the backwoods on a road that I had learned to take on occasion as a shortcut. During the day, the road was busy and congested, but at night, it was always empty, save for a stray deer or a raccoon. I'm driving, jamming out, and admittedly speeding. I take a corner too quickly, and there, in front of me, was a young girl about 19 or 20, with long dark hair wearing jeans and a light colored blouse. For a split second, I saw her eyes reflected in the lights, saw the look of shock and fear in her face. I swerved hard off the road and into a ditch. There was no way that I didn't hit her. I jumped out of the car and started walking back to the spot I had last seen her, and flagged down a passing car to tell them to call 911. This was in the days before everyone had cell phones. Cops came, EMT came, and there was no one. No body, no girl, and I was given a sobriety test on the spot. I get home much later than I should have, and my wife is waiting for me as I hadn't arrived on time. I'm shaken as I can still see the girl's face in my head, and I recalled the story to my wife, who goes white. She runs upstairs and grabs a yearbook and tells me to flip through the senior pictures. Page 3. There she is, looking exactly as I had seen and described her. I ask my wife if she knows the girl, or if she has her or her family's number. That's when my wife informs me that the girl died 3 years prior during a hit and run around that exact curve. I wasn't from the area. There were no ghost stories involving that road, and I had no way of knowing that the girl that I had picked out of a lineup of seniors was already dead. To this day, I still wonder what happened. Was I tired? Had I heard her name or seen her face on a memorial newscast or clipping and not registered it? Or had I actually encountered what to this very moment I still consider to be the most terrifying event in my life, as I honest to God thought I was going to jail? I'm not 100% positive, but I can say this. I can still see her face lit up by my headlights, clear as a goddamn bell.
Wow. I feel like side of the road at nights kind of stuff always has to do with women.
A lot of times,
A
yeah.
lot of times. And usually like it's always like a girl in a white dress with dark hair, something like that. Um you don't ever hear about stories about men on the side of the road unless it's like
No, not super often.
yeah, unless it's like a crazed maniac man. But um yeah, that's kind of weird story.
That would freak me out. That'd
Yeah.
freak me out.
The fact that the wife knew exactly what he was talking about when he was describing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really interesting.
That's crazy. That would make me believe.
Yeah.
I just, oh my gosh, can you imagine thinking that you just hit and killed somebody? That's terrifying.
Yeah, I feel like you would after finding out that really nobody was there, you'd think you were going crazy or on like
Oh,
drugs
yeah.
or something.
Like, thank God for the sobriety test, because I
Yeah.
think that kind of rules out possibility. But
Yeah.
that poor guy, like, he genuinely believed that it was real so much that
Mhm.
he threw his car off the damn road.
Yeah. That makes it so that um you kind of have to believe
Yeah.
because you like being a skeptic, of course the first thing you're gonna think of is that's a person, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. My reflex too would not be, oh, I'm just gonna keep driving and hit her. Like, yeah, when you see someone on the road, you're not going to super hesitate to do what you can to avoid them.
Right.
So I don't know. That's crazy. That's really crazy. And the fact that he knew nothing about it.
Yeah, and how it somehow connects to the wife, and that I'm assuming since that it was her yearbook,
Yeah.
she probably knew her. But I don't know. I want to know how the wife just knew.
Well, I mean, think about our small town. Like, if you knew that someone you knew in your class got hit by a car and where, I mean, you'd know.
Yeah.
You'd know.
It makes me feel like that the wife could have seen her before.
Maybe. I feel like he would have mentioned that, though.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe he just left out some details just to
Maybe.
make it a sweet and short story. But my theory is that the wife probably has seen her before, just
I don't
didn't
think
tell
so.
it.
I disagree.
So how did she know that it was
Because she graduated with her. Like,
so,
think of someone in your graduating class, right? Like, get a picture of them in your head.
Yep.
And someone describes basically the exact event of how they died to you. Like, you'd pick it out.
Yeah.
But she grabbed a yearbook, too, to be like, just to see. She didn't tell him.
Nobody in my class has died yet, but if somebody did and I knew that person and then a spouse of mine describes them to a T, you
And
could
she
know.
double checked. She brought
Yeah.
out the yearbook. She's like, show me.
Oh yeah, and he
Yeah.
found her.
Yeah. She didn't say, like, it's this girl. He picked her out.
Yeah.
And then told him about the story.
Yeah.
That shows how clearly he saw her, though.
Yeah.
That had to be really vivid.
It had to be very, like, realistic to him.
Yeah.
So, like, that gives off ghost vibes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like ghosts can really show themselves very well. Sometimes they're just little dust particles
Yeah.
flying through the camera. But other times if they have enough energy, they can show themselves.
I wonder what made her show herself at that time.
Maybe to get attention.
I wonder if it was around the same time she died or around an
Probably.
event.
Yeah, and sometimes, like, another theory about ghosts is they're not just like souls, but they're like reenactments of a person's death.
Yeah.
So she could have, I don't know how she died, but she could probably just either be trying to get attention or just reenacting a death.
Yeah, maybe. But he gives us a quick update and said, I searched the ditches, the brush, the woods, everything in the area. When the cop showed up, I told him I think I hit a girl. They searched the area. Nothing, and then the sobriety test. I honest to God thought I was at the very least badly hurting someone.
Yeah. I feel like I wonder if he felt his car hit the girl, because or maybe he was just in shock, and so he assumed he hit her. But if you hit somebody, you'd, you'd feel the shock of that in your car. You'd feel.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But I wonder if, like, it happened so quick that his brain made up that part. Because if you believe that you hit somebody, your brain could potentially form a false memory of that.
I feel like what he saw was him hitting her, and then his brain pieced it together.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt my car hit something.
Yeah, because he didn't say that he did, but I would assume.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof. I can't imagine.
No, if I was a skeptic, that would make me believe too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think that I could deny that ever.
Mm-mm. I mean, I've had situations where, like, that's not explainable.
No.
That's like, that was a ghost kind of situation. Like, 5th grade, I was alone in a classroom. This was after school. For like a month or two, uh, I hated waiting for the bus with everybody else in the gym because our bus was always the last one. And so I waited in the classroom. The teacher left, and I was snooping through, not snooping, but like there was a book on, like a textbook on his desk, and I was looking through that, and at the little teacher's table, in elementary, how there's like a table in the corner, and the teacher sits there and does one-on-ones with kids. At that table, one of the chairs, I feel like I've told you this story, one of the chairs scooted out, and at that same time, a book fell off that table.
Ugh.
And yeah, I was by myself. So, um, I, like, being 10 years old, didn't think, didn't really think anything. I just ran out immediately. Um,
I
but
would.
yeah, that was, I feel like, was probably my first, like, ghostly encounter. I didn't see a ghost, but I saw things moving by themselves. So
Surprisingly, I think my first paranormal experience was around that same age.
ooh,
I don't know if I have told you this story. You'll have to let me know if I did. But we were at our old house south of town, okay?
mhm,
And I just rearranged my room like that day. So my bed was looking out into the hallway and I could stare into the laundry room, okay? Like the laundry room across from your old room.
yeah,
Yeah, I could see into it and like basically the entire hallway because my bed like basically went right up to the light switch by the door.
yeah,
So I was laying there one night and I was just staring off, like trying to fall asleep. And I see this white, I don't want to say mist, but cloudy figure. And I see it slowly start to form.
yeah,
And at that point, I'm wide awake, right? And I was like, just kind of watching it. And it formed into this man. And clear as day, I knew it was a middle-aged man. And he was leaning around the corner, looking down the hallway. And he was just looking around and he held out a gun and
mm,
was pointing it and looking around, like trying to make sure that he was alone.
mm,
And I had a bat next to my bed because I was a paranoid child.
yeah.
And I remember grabbing the bat slowly so he wouldn't see me. And I flicked on the light, whipped open my door, gone,
Yeah, that's really creepy.
gone. And I haven't slept with my door open since.
Oh yeah, I don't do that anyways.
Yeah.
I have not had an experience like that where I'm just sleeping and I'm seeing figures, and I know you've had plenty.
hmm
Um, so I don't even sleep with my door open.
No, I don't.
That's
Well,
psychotic.
technically our door is open, but like we
Oh
can't
yeah.
see our door
Oh
since we
yeah.
live
It,
like our room is for anyone that's listening. Our door is at the bottom of steps, so you walk up the steps and then around the corner is our room
mhm.
because it's like a house that you don't really need to close the door in. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see the door, so
Yeah.
and you want it open because Callie likes to go up and down, and
Yeah.
she'll sleep on the couch for a little bit, then she'll run to your room for a little bit.
Yeah.
She peeks into my room sometimes if my door is open,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
but I mean, my door is open. I'm awake at my desk. I just said that I don't sleep with my door open. If
Mhm.
that was confusing, I'm awake at my desk playing a video game or something,
Yeah.
or doing homework. And it's cute. She just peeks her head in. Okay, you're still here.
Yeah, she's just
You know, just-
checking. She's checking you
she's just
out.
checking the room out. I don't know.
She's
She's
so
cute.
cute. I can hear her like quietly whining upstairs. She's
Yep.
so sad we're recording.
Yeah, she doesn't like it when we're recording because she doesn't like being by herself. She really likes being with
She
people.
likes being included. Beanie
Yeah.
Weenie is a lonely bitch. She likes being a part of anything that is happening and she gets very sad.
Well,
And she's
we promise you're not missing out.
I mean, I think she's missing out a little bit, but she wouldn't know what's going on anyways. And then
Yeah.
she'd probably want to sit in my lap,
Oh, yeah.
which is fine.
And then you'd hear her tippy taps of her little
Yeah.
claws on the vinyl. But
Yeah. Her little tippy taps. But are you ready for the next one?
I am so very ready.
I fully believe something has been mimicking my mom for years.
Oh.
One night, I was sitting on the couch with my dog, watching TV around 10:30 p.m. And suddenly, I heard my mom call from her bedroom. which is right across the hallway from the stairs leading to the back door. She said, "Come here and let the dog out," which I thought was odd because the dog was with me. I didn't think much of it, so I turned around and tried to get the dog to move, and she would not budge off the couch at all. Just as I was about to reply back saying the dog clearly didn't want to go outside, my eyes met the gaze of the orange streetlight outside, illuminating the empty driveway. Another time, when I was still in high school, my best friend and I were on the bus heading back home. My friend nudged me, pointing at a silver car pulled over on the side of the road, probably within 1 to 2 minutes from my house. A familiar looking decal was hanging from the rearview mirror, and a woman was inside wearing a dark blue jacket with short curly brown hair, asking me if that was my mom. We both laughed because my mom is known for sitting in our driveway for up to 20 minutes on her phone before she comes through the door. So we both thought she couldn't wait until she got home from work to check, and we didn't think much of it. As the bus passed by my house, we both noticed my mom's car was boxed in between my dad's truck and my brother's cars, unable to move. Another day, I was leaving my room to make some lunch when I heard my mom call to me from downstairs. At first, I didn't hear her, so I moved closer to the steps and hollered down to her, asking her to repeat herself once more. She sounded off and was asking me to come down to help her with the laundry or something that she'd never do. Just as I was about to place my foot on this top step, I remembered my mom telling me she was going to be home later in the evening and that I was completely alone.
Weird. Did you write this? You have a similar story to
Yeah, no.
that's so weird. So when I first thought mimicking my mom, I thought that it was like a shapeshifter thing or something that like was pretending to be the mom. But yeah, that's weird. Like hearing the voices and
It's crazy.
Mhm.
But when you hear it, you don't think anything of it.
Right.
And in case you guys haven't seen the previous episode where I've talked about this, I've heard my mom call me from upstairs, and lo and behold, she's not home. It's weird. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And I like that I can actually speak to this one because you don't think anything of it, but then you figure it out and you're like, what the heck? And it's so clear as day. Like your
Yeah.
mother's voice. You
Yeah.
know the sound of your mom's voice.
Yep.
That's something that you just don't super forget unless, like, special circumstances. But you don't forget about that.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a weird story. I was kind of a little bit confused with the car thing. Um, but just I don't know. I feel I would be confused in real life anyways if I heard my mom talking and then just it's not actually her.
Mm-hmm.
That
It's
would be
really weird.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
I don't think I've experienced that. I have experienced hearing your voice and then
You've heard my voice?
yeah, I have, but it was actually just mom.
Oh.
And it sounded like yours. I mean, like there are real life situations where someone like if they're related, their voice is similar.
Yeah, mom and I's.
They'll hear like someone will hear somebody talking and they'll think it is somebody else, but in reality it's
Mm-hmm.
another person. Like that's happened to me where I said something and somebody else thought that it was Isaac saying something. Apparently, I mean, it was like 10, 7-ish years ago. I don't know, when he was back in wrestling.
Oh, that was years ago, yeah.
Ages ago. Apparently, my voice sounded similar to his before it dropped, of course. Um, and I said something, mom laughed, and she's like, Ew, Isaac said something really funny. I'm like, oh, that was me. But,
But Isaac gets the credit.
Isaac gets the credit, even though he was, lips were shut and he didn't say anything.
Of course.
But, yeah. No, but having an something that you like, an entity, and you, like that you don't know of. It sounds familiar. I'm It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm not really sure what this is, but like feeling it's something. I just can't remember the name of it.
Here's my theories, and we might be on the same page. My theories, I have a couple. The first is it's a relative that is trying to get your attention or is just trying to interact with you.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I think the women in our family all sound pretty similar.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that, except Abby, but
Yeah, Abby sounds a lot different.
Abby has a unique voice.
She does. But another theory is it's a different entity that is mimicking someone you know and trust on purpose
Mm-hmm.
to get you to acknowledge them and kind of lure you in a way.
Yeah. I feel like that was like a TV show or something. I think it was actually on Knights of the Guardians, um, where the uh, Jack Frost hears his little sister calling to him, and he's like, "I know that voice. I know that voice," but
Yeah.
really it was pitch black, pretending or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
So that I feel like that is definitely a real. I know I compared it to like a movie, but I feel like that is definitely like a
Mhm.
real thing. I've heard of different cases where people have heard voices, and
Mhm.
it's probably something that's trying to trick you. Um,
Yeah, my third and final theory with it is maybe, and I'm not super familiar with this being, but potentially a skinwalker calling out to you
yeah,
because I've heard that they mimic and shapeshift into various different things. So like,
skinwalkers.
yeah, maybe it's that kind of entity.
Skinwalkers love to do that.
Yeah, mimic.
They mimic, or maybe like a siren. Have you heard of a siren?
I've heard of like the movie version of a siren, but not like I haven't done really any digging
Like
into the
kind of
paranormal one.
like a mermaid, but not
Oh,
really.
I'm thinking of Ice Age where they're on the boat and they're like, Sid, like calling out to
Uh,
them.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, I feel like this person going from skeptic to a believer, this would definitely make me believe. And
yeah,
I do agree with the skinwalker theory. I like that theory.
yeah.
Um,
It's
because
fitting.
have skinwalkers been proven real?
I mean, they're kind of like any other paranormal thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's Skinwalker Ranch, which there's a lot of unexplainable things there. And I think skinwalkers I think they originate from the natives.
I thought it was Hispan. No, it is native.
I think it is
But I
native.
thought like,
I think it's of
oh, I
native
think of
origin.
chupacabra. I was gonna say Hispanic, but that's chupacabra. Um, which is a whole other thing.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I feel like yeah, it is the natives because they did rituals or something like. I don't really know all the details about it, but
Yeah.
um,
I
yeah.
want to finish that Skinwalker Ranch documentary.
Mm, that would be really cool, but creepy at the same time. Like I don't know, I I don't like the idea of skinwalkers because I believe in them, but like it creeps me out so
Me
much
too.
because you just don't know if you're gonna see one or not because they do like to play games and they love to mimic and they shapeshift and so you see like I've seen TikToks where people they'll be like, "This is my cat, but my cat's also over here. What is going on?"
I've heard that if you're walking alone at night and if you hear your name being called,
Mhm.
that you're not supposed to like acknowledge it. You can't run, don't go towards it. Just like get inside as fast as possible.
Right. And the creepy thing about skinwalkers and not a deer is that they can be anywhere in the world.
Ooh.
Like they can be anything, and you might not suspect it. And they can be anywhere, like literally anywhere in the world.
I hate that. Everything
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. There's not certain places where they can be. Like they can some things are just in houses, some things are just out in the woods. Skinwalkers,
Oh my
they have
God.
no set place.
Oh, creeps me out. Like,
Mhm.
sends shivers down my back. I
Yeah.
can't stand that shit. Oh, well, we have one more story.
All right,
Are we ready for it?
I am ready.
Unless well, this is actually a pretty quick story, so if we want, we can maybe do one more. We'll see.
Okay,
We'll see. The house we live in is over 100 years old. It's kind of falling apart, honestly. The roof is in really bad shape, and we constantly need to pay attention to where we step, otherwise, we'd fall through the floorboards. In such a house, everything makes distinct noises. You can exactly tell when someone opens the basement door. You can tell the difference between each staircase when you feel the vibration from every step taken in every part of the house. We love living there, though, and my fiance's family has owned it for around 20 years. My mother in law has the first floor all to herself, and I live with my fiance on the second floor. When I moved in, I started slowly noticing that things were going missing. Now, I'm not a particularly organized person, so I wrote it off as me having put away everything incorrectly. It continued happening, and I even lost things that I specifically remembered having put in a certain place, like my keys, my laptop, and my phone. This could all still be explained by my forgetfulness, though. What I can't explain, however, is the noises we hear and the things we see. This is just one example of that. One night, my fiance and I were mindlessly scrolling through our phones in bed before going to sleep. We had our bedroom door closed. The door handle is kind of wonky, so you need to apply a tremendous amount of pressure to push it down. We started hearing footsteps at the bottom of the staircase. We didn't think much about it since we thought my mother in law was home. The footsteps were kind of slow, but rhythmic, and physically spaced out enough, so it definitely sounded like someone was slowly making their way up the stairs. My fiance lowered his phone, clearly hearing them too, and called out for his mom. But there was no answer. The footsteps continued. Whoever it was made their way along the hallway, walked past the bedroom to the end of the hallway. They turned around and stopped in front of our door. We watched the door handle turn slowly, but the door didn't open. After a moment, there was a small knock on the door. "We're already in bed," my fiance said loudly. We didn't get an answer. Instead, we heard the footsteps going towards the stairs again, but they stopped before taking the first step on the stairs. We were completely weirded out at that point, not even scared or anything, just kind of irritated. Usually, my mother in law keeps to herself and only shouts for us when she needs anything, so this would have been very startling behavior from her. Eventually, my fiance got up, opened the door, and looked out into the hallway. Of course, there was no one there. I texted his mother to ask if everything was all right. She replied, yes, and that she would be home in a couple of hours. Unbeknownst to us, she had been away all day. We have never slept with doors closed after that incident. Man, I'm the opposite.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have the door open after that. That would, like you said, would be the opposite.
I get why they did it because like you never want to have that happen again.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you just leave the door open, then you're gonna see things that you just don't want to see.
Yeah,
In my experience.
that's just it. And like, I don't know, it's just gives bad vibes. Like you're leaving the door open, like allowing something to come in and um letting it in and then
I don't know. You're inviting it.
yeah.
You're inviting a presence. I just
And like,
I'm
plus,
really sad they only had the one story though. I kind of want
yeah,
more.
and plus you can like just see stuff that you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just there's bad vibes of leaving the door open, but also like again, like hearing things and it's just weird.
Yeah, no, that's terrifying to me. But like very interesting though. I like that they didn't open up the door right away to invite it in.
Mm-hmm.
But I still want to know like their if his mom has heard anything
Yeah.
or like I don't know if they've seen stuff.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what like all if anything else goes down at that house.
Have you ever heard footsteps like by yourself?
Yes, 100%.
Really?
I have heard footsteps. Sometimes I know I bring up mom and dad's house a lot, but I'm gonna do it again. And when I lived there last year, I heard like it sounds like people walking, and then I would go out and check it out in the living room,
Mhm.
and nobody would be there besides the cat. But the cat is a cat, and it's small, and it doesn't have heavy footsteps. And sometimes it wasn't even at night. Sometimes I was just in the basement and I would hear walking, and nobody else would be home.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't
like,
know that.
and it sounded like human footsteps, and then I would be like, "Mom, Dad, I heard this," and then they'd be like, "No, it was the cat." I'm like, "The cat cannot walk that heavily. I like, it just doesn't."
I don't know if I have heard footsteps. I know we talked about this earlier before we started recording, but I heard some pretty heavy footsteps last night at
Yeah.
like between 2 and 3 in the morning.
Mhm.
And I asked you if you were awake, and you said you were, and that you went to the bathroom around that
Yeah,
time.
I didn't fall asleep until 3 in the morning last night. I mean, it wasn't exactly 3 because I know about that superstition. I went to bed at like 3:20, but um yeah, I had to go to the bathroom. Um
But it was so loud. Did you think you were walking loud? Or was
no,
it just like,
I mean, I did kind of well, I walked pretty slowly from my bedroom to the bathroom because it was 2 in the morning and I was kind of starting to get tired. Um, but I was walking kind of slowly, and then I did sprint from the bathroom to my bedroom because, like, I know how creepy it can be at that time of night.
maybe that's what I've heard then. We'll
But
go
like,
with it.
my footsteps aren't that hard. I don't walk like that. So, but also my bedroom is right next to the bathroom, so it shouldn't have been walking around the like entire place.
I don't know.
It was just from here to there.
Yeah, I guess. But like, I don't know. It
So,
was so quick that I don't know.
okay. So, like, did it sound like something that I was just walking from my bedroom to the bathroom, or did it sound like I was walking around like the main floor?
It just I couldn't tell. I just heard footsteps on the main floor. I couldn't
Okay.
tell you
It
like
could have been Callie. Sometimes she has harder footsteps.
no, she was with us.
Oh, weird then.
Yeah, and she perked up too.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Because literally all I did was go from my bedroom to the bathroom, and then I sprinted because I was scared. But I
Well, if you were well, I don't feel like they were that fast though.
okay, so
They sounded like someone was just walking.
walking. Okay, that's weird.
It was
So,
clear as
so
day. It was
okay,
loud.
I want to tell you something.
No.
I didn't see anything, I didn't hear
Oh
anything,
my
but I
God.
felt weird vibes when I went to the bathroom. Like I I would usually I look straight forward, and I just like go into the bathroom because I don't want to see anything just in case. I not that I often go to the bathroom at night.
That's why I thought it was weird. I'm like, Paige doesn't go to the bathroom at
I
night.
just really had to pee. But I don't know, it was like I felt such weird vibes. Like I was feeling fine in my bedroom. I was like, it's fine, it's whatever. Like it felt like when I was in my bedroom, it felt normal. And then as soon as I left my bedroom, I was like, this is weird. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Which is super interesting because after I got up to go to the bathroom, I just had a really hard time sleeping. I didn't sleep very well last night. I was very restless after that point.
And that's weird because I had, like, about an hour later, I was planning on just staying up all night because, I just wanted to do that. But, about an hour later, I started to finally get tired. Right about the same time as you couldn't sleep, I guess.
Interesting.
I took your sleeping
what the
away
fuck,
from you.
man? Give it back.
I took it away. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just really weird.
Yeah. Other than that, I can't recall a time that I've heard footsteps.
Well, I mean, I don't often go to the bathroom at night.
Yeah.
But so like you could have just been hearing me.
I
But
could have.
also, who hears footsteps on a floor below you?
That's just it. It was so loud too.
You just I
Yeah, I don't usually hear you guys walking around too much.
No, like if you are upstairs taking a nap, you shouldn't be able to hear us.
No, they were loud. It almost sounded like boots on the hardwood.
Weird because I was just wearing my socks. I wasn't wearing shoes.
No, it was so loud. That's why I went downstairs right after it happened because I was just like, what the hell?
And to prove that I wasn't wearing boots, I didn't have my winter boots with because I forgot them at work and we had to go to work and get them today. But
yeah, not that I would think that you were like
just wandering around at 2 a.m. with
because like why not? But I did hear a door shut a little while later. So I don't know. I kind of feel like I heard you, but
it could have been me. But at the same time, I feel like it shouldn't have been.
Do you remember being like loud at all, or do you feel like you were quiet?
Just like slowly walked on over to the bathroom, went pee, and then walked back to my bedroom.
I thought you ran to your bedroom.
Oh yeah, I ran to my bedroom.
Oh.
No, I did feel some weird vibes at that time. I don't know. It was just like really weird and really creepy, and I didn't like it. Being in the bathroom itself was fine. It was just being in the hallway, and I never entered the kitchen. All I did was.
Oh, that's just it. Do you remember what I said? It sounded like boots on hardwood. That area is carpet.
Oh my God, yeah, boots on hardwood.
That area is carpet.
And from my bedroom, that hallway from my bedroom to the bathroom, that entire place is carpet, except for the bathroom that is wood. But
it's not like you can sprint or stomp in there a whole lot small.
Even my God, even if I was stomping, it wouldn't sound like hardwood. It was soft like carpet. Well, it is carpet. But like
and you have to pound a lot harder on carpet.
Oh yeah, because like you definitely it's that's creepy shit. The fact that you heard that and I didn't. I was out and about at the same time that was happening. You heard it and I didn't. But at the same time, you're upstairs. You shouldn't be able to hear things down. Like you lived in an apartment. Do you ever hear your downstairs neighbors?
Rarely. You have to be super loud.
Like yeah. So you shouldn't have been able to hear something. And the fact that you heard stuff and I didn't.
Well, it's hard to hear from our bedroom anyways, because like you can be doing stuff downstairs and be reasonably loud and I can't hear you.
If it was on the main floor and my bedroom's on the main floor, I should have been able to hear it.
Yeah.
Heard nothing.
That's weird. That's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, fam.
Oh, now I'm not going to sleep because...
You're welcome.
You said that, but yeah, geez. No.
Yeah, well, that's all I had today. Yeah. It was a pretty chill episode.
Yeah, pretty chill. A little more quieter and some easygoing stories besides what you had to tell me. But...
Yeah. Well, last episode was super chaotic, so
yeah,
maybe we needed that to reset, to cleanse ourselves,
yes,
you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, anyways, thanks for coming on again.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks, guys.